Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to talk about Zion Oil and Gas, ticker symbol ZNOG. As most of you know, had a very rough week this week in the market with this stock and this company. So I had some people messaging me and reaching out saying, well, haven't you made a video? Can you make a video? And I wanted to wait it out and just kind of see how the week transpired before I made a video about it, to just kind of recap some things that happened, go over to stock price, go over to charts, and kind of give my opinions on it. So just to reiterate, guys, not a financial advisor. Make sure that you do your own research before investing. Also, if you find value in today's video, smash the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you enjoy our content, and hit that notification bell. That way YouTube can let you know every time we release new content. If you haven't subscribed yet, guys, and you're not familiar with the channel, we do cover Zion Oil and Gas. We cover other stocks as well, break down the charts, have weekly stock pick videos, and just kind of give you some educational videos on finance, investing, and things of that nature. So let's go ahead and dive into it, guys. I went ahead and made kind of a weekly report on what happened from Monday all the way to Friday. Before we do that, we're just going to kind of look at a little information. So we're down about 20% in the past 5 days, and all of you know that we had this article come out, which I'm not going to go over the whole article, but it's going to be linked in the description below. And I'm pretty sure everyone who keeps up with Zion Oil and Gas has seen this article over the past week. If you haven't, again, I'm going to link it in the description below if you want to read through it. Alright guys, so this is the ZNOG weekly report. This is not going to be a common thing. Probably won't cover it week to week like this unless we have a lot of things that happen during the week. So definitely some drama behind this one this week we're going to talk about. So Monday, they released an email about their board member, and we were like, why in the heck are you releasing this email about your board member? It kind of felt like they were just promoting her book, promoting her services, and didn't give us any type of relevant information to what was going on with the company. I made a video about that popping up in the right hand corner of your screen, a little reaction video to how I felt about that. Not too much reaction to the stock on that day after that email. I think everyone was just kind of like, why in the world are you putting this type of video out at this time? It was just kind of strange. So on Tuesday, price did drop some, and then later that day, Israel came out with an article talks about not allowing any new permits for oil-based land drilling companies to drill for oil, crude oil, in Israel. Okay, and I'm just going to pull some key points off of that article that was said by the energy minister. Basically, they're talking about how they want to shift their focus to clean energy, and that oil is something that they're going to, which is kind of normal, because obviously the United States administration even is trying to look more towards clean energy. But this is not something that can just happen in the blink of an eye tomorrow, right? So they're doing things that are trying to potentially phase it out. However, it doesn't mean that oil is going to become irrelevant tomorrow. It doesn't mean that all these companies that are drilling for oil and producing oil are just going to stop on a dime. Okay, so it says, starting today, no more licenses will be issued for oil exploration on land in the state of Israel. She said at the opening of an annual conference on energy and the economy. So no new licenses will be issued. It has no effect on people with current licenses. Okay. Contrary to the previous regime, under which connections were the determining factor, appointments to government companies for which I'm responsible will be based on the appointee's experience and the needs of that particular company. So, in my opinion, what they're saying is, if you're not producing and you're not actually benefiting, like providing benefits from your exploration and your drilling and your company, then most likely they're not going to want to work with you, which makes sense. I mean, if you're out there just blowing smoke and not doing anything and you haven't produced anything, then what's the point of you being out there, right? So I think they're kind of like, okay, if you're producing, you're good. If not, then that's going to probably be a problem. The energy minister later clarified to the Times of Israel that the minister was referring to terrestrial crude oil and not shale oil. Basically, in 2020, they had something come out about shale oil exploration, so they wanted to clarify that they were talking about crude, not shale. And said, at present, there are 5 licenses for terrestrial oil production and 3 permits for exploration. On Wednesday, stock price was down again. So I decided after I saw that article that I was going to contact Zion Oil and Gas, and I just wanted to know how this may affect them and if they had any type of information. So I messaged them and asked how it's going to impact their current operations. And basically they said that currently operations are still a go. They can't provide any information that the company has, and the same, kind of the same conversation as far as what we always have whenever we reach out and they can't provide information. Well, the thing about this now was I did express my concern as an investor and other shareholders, and so I think we need to know some type of response from that article. That's kind of a big deal, and it raises a lot of questions as far as your guys' ability to continue your operations and produce oil. Like, how is that going to affect you? And obviously they say, well, I can't answer that, but I'll forward your concern over to management. What's the best email? What's a phone number? So the key thing for me is I didn't get on their website and start bashing them and all this stuff. I was very polite to them and just asked questions, and they were more than willing to pass my concerns on to management. So as soon as that happened, I got on the phone and called the office in Dallas because I wanted to speak to somebody, because to me it's easy if you're on the computer, you can sit there and think about an answer you're going to tell me, but I want to hear it in someone's voice as far as, how do you feel? I can probably tell if you're a little nervous, if you're, confident in what you're saying, things like that. Sometimes you can read a person better by their voice as opposed to just a simple, message on the computer. So I called the office in Dallas and I talked to someone, and we just, again, talked about, hey, I'm a current investor, and I saw the article in about Israel, and I wanted to know how that's going to affect you guys moving forward. And he says, well, yeah, we are aware of the article, basically, so we are aware of it. Currently, we are, granted, access to continue our operations. It's not affecting us at this time. And I said, okay, I completely understand it's not affecting you at this time. How is it going to affect you in the future? And he says, well, I can't make any type of forward-looking statements. Obviously, that would be considered insider trading. And I said, okay. I said, I completely understand, but I think you need to tell me something. I think that you need to be a little bit more transparent on, like what can you tell me? I know there's some things you can't tell me, but what are something that you can tell me before I get off the phone with you? And basically he said, look, I can't go into any type of detail for future looking statements, and all I can tell you is, yes, we did run into some issues. That's why we updated everyone about those issues and that we worked through them. We're continuing our operations. Everything's still a go. And so I asked him, I was like, well, how long is your extension granted for? Because he did mention, like, well, we did get that extension. I said, okay, well, how long is it for? And then he even told me that he couldn't tell me that. I said, well, that to me, that didn't sound right, that you can't at least tell me how long you guys are going to be able to operate in that particular area. He says, well, look, all I can tell you, I wish I can tell you more. He says, honestly, I wish I can tell you a lot more, but I just can't. He says, legally, I can't. But, operations are a go. He says, we are in constant contact with the Israeli government, as we always are. And whenever we do have news, we're going to release it. It's kind of the same old type deal about that. So, and I said, all right, well, can you at least clarify what stage you're in, like what section you're in, because you still haven't updated us on if you have completed section 3. So you've completed us on 1, updated us on 1, updated us on 2, and it's been crickets on 3. Can you explain why you haven't said anything? He says, well, again, he says, if I can tell you, I would, but I just legally I cannot, I can't tell you anything. And and just kind of talking to him, you can tell he didn't seem like he was trying to hide anything. He was just kind of genuine with his answers on, dude, I wish I can say a lot more to you, but legally. Again, can't say anything more than basically what's already public knowledge. And he kept reiterating that it's insider trading and this and that. And he said to call, make sure, he said, call back with any other questions. I'll be happy to answer anything that you may have questions on and things of that nature. And so I said, well, can you clarify that you guys are drilling for the crude oil and not shale oil? And he says, well, I can't even tell you that. I said, well, that's stupid that you can't even tell me that. And he said, we'll pass this on to management. I said, okay, whatever. So on Thursday, I got a reply in my email from management, and basically said, hey, thanks for asking your questions. We appreciate you reaching out to us. And he says, no, we're not. Basically, all they told me was, no, we're not drilling for shale oil. I'm like, okay, but I had a lot more questions than that. It was not, they really didn't answer any of my questions, which I'm sure they're getting, hundreds of questions that they're having to reply to at this point. Because I know a lot of people probably freaked out whenever they saw that article and were just freaking out over the share price in general. So I did reach out to them to kind of get clarification on the questions that I answered. I haven't received any response back from them at this time. So Friday, overall, we finished, like I showed you earlier, about 20% down for the week. All right, guys, so overall, they issued no response in relation to that article that came out. Share price dropped in result of that. And there's a lot of people that probably bought more on this dip because it is undervalued based on the technicals right now. So it's actually good, even if it's just for a swing play, a good buy. And some people sold. Some people got frustrated and just decided to cut losses with it because they were like, man, we don't know what's going on with these people. They're not issuing any statement about this, and that's understandable. I mean, if you don't feel comfortable, it's your money, and you could always get back in whenever things kind of start turning around and we start making a correction, hopefully more to the upside. And why? So why would people, why would they not issue any statements? Why would they just kind of leave investors in the dark? Well, basically, guys, they don't need. Some companies are good about updating you along like every little step along the way and things like this. This type of company doesn't necessarily need to update you every day or every week. It would be nice if they did. And I know that they said in the shareholder meeting, we're going to update you every 2 weeks once we get to that fourth section, because things start kind of happening a little bit quicker. Well, when they ran into those issues, in my opinion, they may have had to backtrack and start over some lengthy processes as far as, maybe recasing something, or I'm not sure. So like if you're an oil and gas person, maybe you can comment below kind of clarifying what are some things that they may have had to redo in that third section. Because if everything was going good and then all of a sudden they ran into issues, they had to contact their suppliers or bit suppliers, which, if you haven't noticed, if you've tried to order anything anywhere, there's like supply and shortages and shipping issues no matter what you order now. So that can take time just to get pieces in. Then it can take time to redo some of the things that you've already done before you ran into issues. And that adds time to it as well. So in my opinion, once they get everything done that they need to get done in the third section, I still think they're not done with the third section. I still think once they complete that, they come out with PR saying that they've completed it, because it makes no sense that they would update you on section 1, section 2, skip section 3, and then go straight to section 4. That makes absolutely no sense to me. I think that the next thing that come out is they say we've completed section 3, regardless of how long that takes, and hopefully maybe they'll say something about the the article and kind of clarify the the permit that they have to continue drilling, and kind of ease everyone's mind about continuing their operations moving forward, right? But typically this company is not going to come out and tell you anything as far as PR unless it's actually something kind of substantial of what they've done. That's just not how they do things. So if you're expecting anything different just because you've invested in the company, then you're going to be mad and you're going to be upset, and that's just the way it is. right? So you have to kind of make a decision on what you want to do moving forward. So what I'm doing, I'm holding right now. I hadn't actually planned on buying anymore just because I have a substantial amount of shares, and I wanted to kind of wait and see exactly what happens. But at these prices, it's hard to pass up if I can look at the numbers and figure out how to average down a decent amount. Then that may be the best bet for me, because uh, current my current average cost is about, it's a little higher than probably everyone else's, it's about 86 cents a share, and that's extremely high. So I want to try to get that down. If I can get it maybe down to like the 50 to 40 cent mark, then I would set myself up to profit a lot quicker, and it makes it a lot safer, to where if it runs up to $1.50, I could always make that decision of taking some profits off the table at a lower price point. You know, not recommending anyone do that, but I'm just saying that's what I'm considering doing, because that price per share is a little high compared to really what it should be for this stock. I bought, a little bit too early, and that's just kind of on me. That's my fault. But anyway, I wanted to compare this situation to other companies. If you follow the channel, I talk about Golden Nugget Online Gaming, and that stock there, back in the LCA days, basically it was a SPAC play, and it was LCA, Lancadia Holdings, and they were talking about they were going to do a reverse merger and turn into Golden Nugget Online Gaming. So I bought into that company around $13 a share, and it was pretty heavily invested, and it shot up all the way to about $20 a share. I sold it, took profits because it fell back down, and then it started running up again. So I got back in it, and the merger happened. It was approved. Then all of a sudden it tanks. So I had a lot of shares in this company, and it just keeps selling off and selling off and selling off and selling off, and had no reason to sell off because the company was profitable, was adding more states, revenue keeps increasing, and I'm like, dude, why is this thing continuously selling off and just dropping and dropping and dropping? Well, this happened for months. I mean, up to probably 3 weeks ago, from December all the way to August, the stock just continuously kept falling down and down. With it had its occasional spikes, but kept falling down and down and down. And then all of a sudden, one morning, we got news that it's getting bought out by DraftKings, and the merger is going to actually happen sometime in January of 2022. Things shot up from $12 and some change all the way to $18 and some change, and now currently sitting at about $22. Okay, so fast forward from December to now, on my second go round with this bad boy, I'm almost back to break even. Okay, and I see no sign of this going down. I think it's going to actually hit $30 a share before the end of the year, because it's following DraftKings now, and DraftKings, I see it just continuously, maybe slowly, but going up, because it has no reason to go down now. Football season started, you're going to have higher revenue numbers, and meanwhile, Golden Nugget is still having things happening within that company. It's kind of operating at its own as its own company right now, and that thing just has so many good things going for it. So what I'm saying is, things can turn around very quickly. Okay, and yes, this is a lot different from that company to this company, because that company actually has revenue. That company actually had a lot of really good things going for it. This is a lot riskier play. All right, but still, nothing really stays down forever. Every now and again, you have some type of news, and something happens to where you see this occasional pop in the price. Just look back at Zion Oil and Gas whenever they announced they were going to be on the TBN network. Just out of anticipation for that, the stock rose. I think it was probably like over 100%, 128 or 130%, just based on people thinking that they were going to announce that they had oil probably on the network. And then as soon as the thing happened, it fell down and came back down. So hopefully, if they get some type of PR talking about the third section, then that'll send it moving back in that upward direction. Okay, and again, the charts and the technicals show us that we are not that far off from confirming a move in a positive trend to the upside but we just have to get something from that company. So it's kind of mixed emotions on it. They did tick me off with their email earlier in the week because I didn't find it very relevant for what we need as as investors. But at the same time, I do understand that they're going to update you as soon as they have something to update you on. But I understand everyone's concern because I feel it too at times. It's like, why aren't you saying anything, about this article? To me, I would have come out and said something to kind of update the investors and kind of ease their mind and at least just provide some type of information on that. But again, I'm not in charge of that. So you got to make a decision at this point. Is it worth the wait? Are you cutting your losses? Are you buying more? That's just a personal decision. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. I'm holding right now, and I'll potentially buy more to try to average down depending on how much it costs to average down and make it worth my while. Other than that, I'm just going to hold and hopefully get a move to the upside to where I can start seeing some profits off of this company. It's just taking a lot longer than expected, obviously, but sometimes it does. Sometimes it takes longer than expected. So anyway, guys, sorry for the lengthy video. This is a lot longer than what we normally have. Leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think of the video. Let me know your thoughts of this kind of dramatic week and what your plans are moving forward. Other than that, we'll catch you in the next one. All right, guys, that's all I have for you in this video. Make sure that you smash the thumbs up button if you found value in today's video. And if you enjoy our content, of course, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. That way YouTube can let you know every time we release new content. Other than that, guys, we'll catch you in the next video.